Recording now. And once again, we're here with the Santa Cruz Warriors president, Chris Murphy, and the mascot, Mav'Riks. And the one last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Chris is that once he starts reading, remember that it's best to put things in speaker view. As fun as it is to see all of the faces, you'll see more of the book if you put it in speaker view. So with that, one last reminder, we're going to record this. Mute your video if you don't want, if you don't want your children's pictures shown when we share it with the Warriors. And with that, I turn it over to you, Chris.
Good morning, Scott. Thanks so much for having me and Maverick here to read today. I'm excited. I've got 2 books to read, and I'd love to answer any questions as well. But the first book that I thought we would read today is a book about Michael Jordan and In Pursuit of Him Dream, and it's called Salt in His Shoes. So I'll do my best to sit a little bit closer so that you guys can see the photos as well. But it's called Salt in His Shoes, and it's about Michael Jordan, who's the greatest basketball player of all time, pursuing his dream. All right. So it says, Michael loved to play basketball. Every Saturday, he followed his older brothers, Larry and Ronnie, to the park, hoping that they would let him play. And if one of the guys who usually played with them didn't show up, they always let Michael play. But there was one problem. His name was Mark, and he was the tallest boy on the court. What's the matter, Mikey? Too short? Mark flapped his arms in Michael's face. Over here, shouted Larry. But when Michael threw the ball, Mark's long arms came out of nowhere and knocked the ball away. It flew into the hands of a player on Mark's team. He made the basket, and the game was over just like that. It's like not up.
Oh, really?
Can you go get my iPad?
Just so you know, the audio and the view is good from this end.
Oh, sorry. It slept on my end, Scott, so I didn't know if it was. I'm really sorry, guys. If I were taller, that wouldn't have happened. All the way home, Michael apologized, even though no one was mad at him. His oldest brother, Ronnie, tried to cheer him up. Look, little brother, you played good today. Don't worry, we'll win the next time. When they got home, Michael went into the kitchen where Mama was cooking dinner. He was still disappointed, and she could tell. You guys lost again today, huh? Michael nodded. He sat quietly for a minute and then said, Mama, how can I grow taller? Now, Mama knew the answer to a lot of questions, but this was a tough one. She thought for a moment as she sprinkled salt and pepper on the chicken she was making for dinner. Then she smiled, looked at Michael, and said, Salt. Salt? Michael looked at his mama. Salt in your shoes. We'll put salt in your shoes and say a prayer every night. Before you know it, you'll be taller, she replied. Salt in my shoes, Michael said quietly to himself. Surely Mama was teasing. He sat staring out of the window, trying to figure out how salt was going to help him grow. He noticed the rose bushes outside in Mama's garden. They had grown high along the fence, and roses of all colors were blooming on the vines. He thought to himself, I remember when Mama first planted those bushes. Michael's face lit up. If Mama knows how to make those rose bushes grow taller, then maybe she's right. Maybe salt in my shoes really will help me grow. Growing more excited, Michael twirled around and started asking lots of questions. Mama, how long will it take, and how tall do you think I'll get? Smiling, Mama sat down next to him and explained, in order for this to work, the most important things you have to do are be patient and listen to what I tell you and say your prayers every night. Listening carefully, Michael shook his head. Okay, Mama, I'll be patient, but what does saying my prayers have to do with it? Everything, Mama replied, and she hugged him. Now go wash up and tell your brothers and sisters to get ready for dinner. Michael dashed out of the kitchen, almost knocking over his father, who was walking in. "What's he up to now?" asked Daddy. "Oh, the usual," laughed Mama. "Chasing a dream." And I should also say this story is based on a real story, and the authors are Michael Jordan's sister and his mom. So this was a real story. Later during dinner, Mama noticed that Michael was barely eating anything. He was already daydreaming about being taller. "Michael, first thing first, you won't grow if you don't eat, especially your vegetables," Mama said. "But I'm not hungry," he said. Raising her eyebrows, Mama gave him a stern look. Slowly, Michael picked up his fork and began to eat. Minutes later, his plate was clean and he was asking for more. That evening at bedtime, Michael set his favorite game shoes on the floor next to the growth chart hanging on the wall. Then he put on his pajamas, said his prayers, and jumped into bed. When Mama came in, Michael was fast asleep. By the look on his face, she could tell he was already playing basketball in his dreams. Standing by his bed, Mama sprinkled salt in his shoes. Then she prayed quietly over him, as she did all of her children. "Dear God, please help Michael to be the best he can be and to give his best in all that he does. And Lord, could you please make him just a little bit taller tomorrow than he is today? Thank you." After that night, Michael wore his favorite game shoes everywhere he went, even to church. And he stopped going to the park with his brothers on Saturdays. Instead, he stayed home and practiced. He wanted to grow a few more inches before he went back to the park. After 2 months of practicing and waiting patiently and praying, Michael stood next to the growth chart on his wall. Nothing. He hadn't grown an inch. He was disappointed, but he did not stop believing. "I've just got to give it time," Mama said, Michael thought to himself, and that's what he did. 2 more months of practicing went by, and still nothing. Now Michael was becoming a little sad. Not only had he not grown 1 inch, but he also missed playing basketball with Larry and Ronnie. About the only thing he didn't miss was being picked on by Mark. When the next Saturday came, his brothers tried to get Michael to go with them to the park, but he wouldn't budge. Mama had begun to worry. When she saw Michael sitting alone on the steps, she said to Daddy, "Maybe you should go out and talk to him." So Daddy went out and sat with Michael. "What's wrong, son? You haven't gone to the park with your brothers for a while now. Are you okay?" Michael didn't say anything at first. Then he looked at Daddy and said, "I thought I would at least be a few inches taller by now. I did everything Mama told me to do, but nothing happened." "Michael, why do you want to be taller?" Daddy asked. "If I were taller, I'd be a great player and I could help our team win," Michael answered. "But you are a great player, son, and you already had everything it takes to be a winner right in here." Daddy tapped Michael on his chest. "Being taller may help you play a little better, but not as much as practice, determination, and giving your best will. Those are the things that make you a real winner." Michael thought about what Daddy said for a minute, then suddenly he jumped up and took off. "Where are you going?" Daddy yelled after him. "I've got a game today, and I'm late," Michael yelled back. When Michael reached the park, the game had started. He sat on the bench hoping he would get a chance to play, and he did. The game was almost over, and the score was tied when John, one of the guys on Michael's team, fell and hurt himself. Here was Michael's chance. Michael joined his team in the huddle as they gathered on the sideline for a timeout. "Okay, the game is tied. All we need is 1 point. Who wants to take the shot?" Ronnie asked. He looked in Michael's direction. Feeling more confident than ever, Michael said, "I'll do it." When the whistle blew and the game began again, Mark began to pick on Michael as usual. "Still trying to play with the big boys, huh?" Mark taunted. But Michael paid him no attention. Taller or not, he had been practicing, and today he was determined to win. Larry threw the ball in bounds to Michael. Michael caught it, bounced it for a moment, then took off running. As he approached Mark, Michael shifted to his right. Mark followed, but while he was still shifting, Michael spun to his left. He stepped behind Mark and shot. The ball arced far above his opponent's hands and fell silently through the hoop. 2 points. The game was over. Michael's team had won. It was just as Michael had dreamed. When he realized what he had done, Michael took off running and didn't stop until he had reached home. Bursting through the door, he shouted, "I did it, Daddy, I did it. I shot right over the tall guy's head and we won the game." Running in behind him, Ronnie and Larry joined the celebration. "That's right, little brother. You did it. You won the game for us." Michael remembered the look that Ronnie gave him during the last time out of the game and said, "No, we won the game, but I was the star." They all laughed. After that day, Mama stopped putting salt in Michael's shoes, but Michael did not stop being patient and working hard and praying. So that must be what made Michael grow to be a 6'6" tall basketball superstar. And that is the end of Salt.
Hey, let's give a round of applause if you like that book. I unmuted everybody for a minute. That was awesome. And now I'll mute everybody except Chris here, and we'll see if some folks want to ask some questions, or we'll see if Chris wants to ask some questions.
Sure. So, did Michael grow any taller putting salt in his shoes?
Let's see who'd like to answer that. I see under Vanessa Watkins. Who is that?
No.
You're right, Finn. He didn't grow any taller with the salt.
Yeah.
Very good.
Can anybody tell me what made Michael Jordan better at basketball?
Ooh, what did make him better at basketball? I see Cohen. Go ahead, Cohen.
Getting better and practicing.
Right, practicing and hard work and determination.
All right. Let's see. Anybody want to ask a question or make a comment about the book before Chris reads the second book?
I want to tell you, I got this little ball. I found it at Big Five. My dad let me get it.
Awesome. So you came ready for today.
Yep.
Gotta have your basketball
I was
ready.
playing with it.
Yeah. And I saw Kinsley out there had her Warriors blanket ready too. So they came ready for you today, Chris.
I like it. They probably came ready for this guy behind me here.
Oh yeah, him too.
I got
right,
the same book as you.
Awesome. Great.
Watching a lot of the Michael Jordan documentary every Sunday night, so it was very timely.
I love Michael Jordan. He's cool.
Oh, sorry about that, Cohen. All right, well, what's your second book today, Chris?
So the second book is one of Mav'Riks' favorite books. It's called How Do You Dance? So Maverick loves to dance, so we thought we would read this How Do You Dance book. I'm going to pull myself a little bit closer so that way we can see Mav do some dance moves.
Awesome.
As well. All right, so this book is called How Do You Dance? How do you dance? Like this, like this, like this? I don't dance. I do. Rick does too. Go, Rick. Rick's the janitor dancing. Mags beckons as her dance move. Koyo bops. Gilda flits. What does Maverick do? Yeah. Aurora scrunches. CJ makes something like a stinky face. John looks right at you and points at you when he dances. Just move a part, then move another, let it get weird, and see where it goes. Face, fingers, knees, and toes. Maybe you dance like you have no bones. Maybe you are made of metal and you try to do the robot. Maybe you shimmy because you made something so delicious, like so delicious. Hey, Maybe you don't want to dance and you just want to eat dinner, okay? Okay, no dancing during dinner, but you could dance after dinner. You could dance at the market, at the bus stop, on a work break. You could dance on good days, and you can dance on rainy days, and even sad days you can dance. This guy's always dancing. Mav'Riks always dancing. Sometimes you just need to flop around. And there's all these floppy dance moves that they're doing until you feel better. Try some new moves. Maverick, you want to try the jiggle? The flap? The tootle? The scoot? Or the nothing? You can dance high, and you can dance down low. You could dance fast, 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 or you could dance slow. Dinos, robos, horsies, and dads all together in the dark in the dance party. Enough, said the little boy. I don't dance like that. I want to be left alone. Understood, but just between us, how do you dance? I just told you, said the little boy. Alone. And it shows the little boy dancing all over his bedroom. When he's all alone, he dances everywhere. Mav, you want to give him a little dance show? And that is the end of How Do You Dance?
Well, I saw a lot of dancers out there. Would you and Maverick like to see some of the kids' dance moves?
I would love to see some of the kids' dance moves.
All right, guys, show us what you got. Oh, I see some waves.
Wow,
I see some floss.
We got the floss going on. Everybody's dancing a little bit.
That is awesome. I love it that the kids dance so much these days.
A lot of dancing happens in the Murphy household as well.
That's awesome.
Look at Maverick go.
All right, Maverick.
Does anybody have any questions about the book?
Let's see. You might know this guy. Let's see if he has a question. Go ahead, Connor.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, Dad.
I had to give him a shot.
Yeah. What question do you got, Connor?
Why was the boy not wanting to dance, and then he did want to dance?
So I think the boy wanted to dance. Maybe he only likes to dance when he's by himself because he doesn't like everybody else to see. So he kept telling people, I don't dance, because he was where everybody was watching, where everybody could see. But when he went into his own bedroom and nobody was watching, he danced super great.
Awesome. I see Cohen has a question.
That's probably why he didn't want to dance right in front of them, because they might have laughed and made fun of him.
Good point.
Which isn't true.
Everybody dances a little bit different, and everybody can be a fun dancer and have a good time. Makes you feel good to dance.
All right, who else? I see under Lucia's iPhone.
I think because he didn't want to dance in front of others is because he was embarrassed.
How about you? Do you get embarrassed when you dance?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose, right?
Everybody needs it once in a while.
Anybody else would like to ask a question or make a comment? Oh, I see. I gotta pick this one. Warrior's biggest fan.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead.
That's
Say it again.
kid like to dance. This is a kid like to dance alone.
Why did he like to dance alone, I think was the question. Well,
Good.
sometimes you don't like to dance in front of a lot of people. Like Mav'Riks loves to dance in front of people. When you come to the game, you always see Mav'Riks dancing, but you never see me dancing at a game because sometimes dancing in front of people, it doesn't make you feel too good.
And let's see, anybody out there that hasn't had a chance yet that would like to ask something or comment, or let's see. What's anybody else? I'll give Cohen another chance and then we'll start to wrap it up. Go ahead, Cohen.
Well, I think he was embarrassed to dance in front of everybody because he thought he was a little weird. He wasn't so good at dancing. He thought he was going to make fun of him. But I don't think that was true because he's such a good dancer. And I like to dance in front of people. Sometimes I dance with my friends in front of big crowds.
Cool.
So,
And when he danced,
yeah,
on
he
the last
did a big crowd. One time he did he was like on this dance stage, and he was with his friends Cam and stuff, and he danced in front of a huge crowd on the stage, and he has a sweatshirt right now, so of his team.
the little boy was dancing all over his room with all sorts of great dance moves once he was alone and nobody was watching.
Hey, does anybody want to ask Maverick a question? Maybe maybe Chris can interpret for him. Anybody ever want to ask Maverick a question?
Anybody have a question?
I don't see any hands up yet. Or wait, I see one here. I can't see who it is. Oh, AJ.
You're funny.
He's funny.
He's trying to make sure you guys are always, everybody's always smiling when they hang out with Maverick.
That's his job. Isn't that a cool job? His job is to have fun and be funny.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Aw. Well, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you coming on, Chris, and I really appreciate Maverick spending some time with us. And I know one of the things I can't wait for once we ever get back to something like normal life is to come to a basketball game and to come especially to a Warriors game. Who wants to go to a Warriors game when we're able to go back out and be around people? Me too. I can't wait. Are there any final things you wanted to share with the group, Chris?
I thank you very much for having me today and having Maverick here. We were excited to be able to read to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you all on Thursday morning at the next Read Aloud.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Let's wave goodbye, and I'll unmute everybody so you can say goodbye too. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to say bye to Maverick too. Bye, Maverick.
Bye. Bye. Bye.